Hello, witches. Good morning, and welcome to the live divination ceremony. I'm Ocean from Bright and Dark, and I will be your host today. Hello, good morning. It's good to see everyone. So today is a quiet day at Bright and Dark. There's not a whole lot going on. We had a ritual rave yesterday, and I didn't make it because I went to an art thing, but I could feel the vibrations all the way over here. So good morning. Let's see. So this weekend, we've been in the Lionsgate portal, kind of passing through the peak of it. And we've been asking ourselves, what are we moving out of when we entered this portal, and what are we heading into when we exit this portal? So what's been coming up for you guys? Oh yeah, I also wanted to share. So I said yesterday in the live, hello. I said yesterday that the full moon solar eclipse was in Pisces, but it's in Leo. I misspoke. I have my head all up in the stars, so sometimes they get a little jumbled. But so on August 12th, we have a full moon coming up a new moon coming up in Leo. And it is also a full solar eclipse. I think it's a full solar eclipse. So we started this portal. Is it in the middle of the eclipse portal? I actually can't remember right now. I think it's the eclipse portal. Yeah. Okay. So we are, that is really cool. Okay, I had to look it up. So we are going into an eclipse portal. So we just finished, or I'm sorry, we're going to finish out the Lionsgate portal. And then on the 12th, we're going to start the eclipse portal. So whatever you're doing, whatever work you're doing in this portal, you're taking with you, and it's going to amplify it in the next portal. Oh my gosh, it feels like there's something in my eye that is driving me nuts. Oh my gosh. Something's like touching my eyeball, and that is horribly uncomfortable. Yeah. Right, let me put in an eye drop. Maybe that'll help. You have to be like next level to be able to put in an eye drop with makeup on, I swear. Okay, thank you for holding space for me. So, I think I have talked enough about well, I would just also add to that this is kind of like a rapid release moment of like, so we're going into the full moon. We just did this eclipse portal, which kind of accelerated what we were working on, and then we're going into the full moon. You have another chance to do another big release about like what came up for you during this eclipse portal, and then good morning, and then going into the we're going into the new moon. I keep mixing them up. I don't know why. Hello, good morning. So we're going into the new moon. You're going to be able to kind of double down on your manifestation, and then the full moon at the end of the eclipse portal is going to support you in releasing the rest of that. So I think I got it all out. I think that is my astrology rant for the morning. So let's get started. Yeah, we are in some crazy times. Year of the Fire Horse. It is the year of the Fire Horse, and we are galloping, running full speed ahead, truly. So we're going to go ahead and set some space. If you need to stim, if you need to stretch, anything that needs your attention, if you want to give it a breath. I'm going to go ahead and take 3 deep breaths if you'd like to take them with me. I humbly invite all that is fire within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is air within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is earth within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. And I humbly invite all that is water within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I beckon to this system. May we now align as one, for our cousins are the elements, and so the moon and sun. I call to those who love me. You are welcome in this space, for our nature is united, sharing magic, life, and grace. Now we're going to declare our intention. We do this as a call and repeat. If you'd like to repeat after me, you can. You don't have to. If you choose to repeat after me, I would recommend that you feel into the words and what they mean for you and where you feel them in your body. I choose now in this moment to align with my whole self. To pull the book that tells my story from its place upon the shelf. I enter now this circle made of trust and hope and power. And I show up for my practice in this place and at this hour. Because I am home. Okay, so go ahead and grab your decks. If you have a tarot deck, an oracle deck, you can use a book. If you like bibliomancy, you can just turn to a random page of a book, choose a random paragraph or sentence. Random or intuitive, right? Sorry, I am dropping things. Okay. Let's go to our question for today. Where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion to our relationship with our life and our practice? Where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion to our relationship with our life and our practice? Where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion to our relationship with our life and our practice? I'm using the territorial deck. It is the miniature deck, so we are going on vibes today. And we have the Queen of Wands reversed. I'll show it to you upright, but we did draw it in reverse. The Queen of Wands. We got Wands yesterday too, as our highlighted card was the Three of Wands. It seems like we're moving. Let's feel into it. The vibes are confidence, determination, independence, cheer. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the upright. So the reversed, which is what we drew it in reversed. Frustration, introversion, like an introvert. Yeah. Insecurity, moodiness. I don't know why, but introversion was like not feeling like a word for a second. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you, Helvi. If you are enjoying this live divination, if you don't mind, thumbs upping the live. We don't necessarily see those little hearts that you guys put up on the screen, although I think they're really cool, but for some reason in the StreamYard we can't actually see those. But if you like the live, then it calls in more witches, is like the function of it. So again, I'm going to read it again. Frustration, introversion, insecurity, moodiness. And this is the Queen of Wands reversed. And then the upright is confidence, determination, independence, cheer. The numerology is 13 and 4. I think that's interesting. So we've had 12 and 3 come up. I believe all 3 days we've had 12 and 3 come up. So it's interesting that we moved up to 13 and 4. It's a fire card. It has to do with all the fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So 13 is death, transformation, rebirth. It is power. It is just your relationship with life and death, your relationship to change. 13 is like my lucky number too, funny enough. It always seems to work out for me. And 4 is like structure. So think of like 5, I think of like 3 is like collaboration, right? You're collaborating and you build the structure. And then 5 is like the community or the family or the spirit of the home. It's like the structure, the house is built, and then like it gets lived in. So 4 is that structure in my practice. Okay, so let's see, feeling into that: frustration, introversion, insecurity, and moodiness. So we've been talking this weekend. Yes, it's the Queen of Wands reverse. That's correct. So the way that I try to approach my emotions in my practice, again, this is a practice, it's not a perfect, is as information. So frustration, introversion, insecurity, moodiness, what information is within those specific feelings or experiences? Let's see. Those are what's highlighted. So these aren't in shadow for us. We're very aware that we're frustrated, that we're insecure, that, you know, who else is struggling with moodiness? And I think the introversion to me tends to be a side effect of the way that no, the way that, well, I can't, so we're an international community, so I can really only speak from the perspective of the United States of embarrassment, as we tend to call it. And when we're introverted, I think that's kind of almost like a judgmental way to say that we're cocooning, or we're needing that like closed sort of like reflective, introspective space. So, introversion, or are you introspecting? Introspecting. I can't remember how to pronounce it right now. Anyway, that's okay. You guys know what I mean. Let's see. Security, moodiness, Queen of Wands. Confidence, determination, independence, cheer. It's information, right? Like, it's like we were talking about how the obstacles, like, how do we embrace the obstacle as part of the path? And then before that, we were asking, how do we embrace the ego as a valuable member of the team? So moodiness to me is like definitely an ego response. Hello, welcome. These to me are responses. It's almost like it's the reversed is the shadow of itself. And I don't know. That would definitely be my theory, right? Like going forward, I think that there's a lot of different ways to interpret these things. I think it's also the reverse can be like the internal experience, whereas like the upright can be the external experience. So, going off of that though, if not necessarily that those are in shadow as if you're not aware of them, but what if you are in shadow right now? Like, what if your frustration and moodiness that you're expressing, what if the insecurity that you're feeling or the introversion that you're doing is in service to boosting your confidence, to what's the word? Validating your determination, or like fortifying your determination? What if it's giving you what's the word? What if it's leveling up your independence? What if it is encouraging moving? I would say, because independence can be kind of like how do I put this? Independence is not necessarily the goal. Interdependence is how community functions. So what if moving towards independence means that you're moving away from codependence towards interdependence, which does require reclaiming independence? I know I just said a lot of like the same word, but I hope that resonated with some of you. So again, what if the frustration, introversion, insecurity, and moodiness is where our attention needs to be because it's valuable information? Because it's trying to support us. It's trying to give us a chance to do something differently. Seems like it's time to pause and reflect on your plans and your role in the scenario that you're in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially being in the Lionsgate portal, this is a powerful time of change. If you ignore it, things are still going to change. if you have a specific way you want things to change, you might come up against obstacles, right? Because you're limiting. What your frustration is telling you is that you're limiting your options when you pick a specific focus. Often lately with my new moon, like manifestation rituals, I'm moving towards alignment. I'm mostly focused on alignment. And if there's something that comes up as my attention is on alignment, then I know that that's for me. I know I can move towards that. But if I'm trying to figure out what's best for me, I will often not be aware of certain possibilities. And moving towards alignment is how I integrate those possibilities as options, rather than limiting myself by only what I can understand in this moment. Yep. Okay. So, are we ready for our second card? What is in shadow that is keeping us from embracing this difficult time as a transformative experience, as expansion? Yeah. I love everything that you guys are saying. You guys are so insightful. We got the 5 of Wands. We got the 5 of Wands. I can't make this up either. It's like I literally pull, for the reversed, I always pull from the bottom of the deck. And for what's highlighted, I always pull from the top of the deck. And you guys see me sit here and shuffle it. And I'll even sit here sometimes and I'll shuffle it like as a stim when I'm in like meetings and stuff. So it's like I can't plan this out. Like it's so, yeah, it's so on point that it couldn't be anything other than like magic. And I really love that. So, what is keeping us from being able to embrace or receive the message from the Queen of Wands reversed is the 5 of Wands. This is conflict, competition, tension, rivalry, disagreement. It is avoid conflict, tension release, and respecting differences when it's reversed. So we got it upright, this one in particular. Let me put that on the screen for you all. There you go. And I'm going to read it again, and then I'll go through the symbols. So upright, which is how we drew it. Conflict, competition, tension, rivalry, disagreement. And the reversed is avoid conflict, tension release, respecting differences. The planet is Saturn. So we talked a little bit about Saturn before. And then it's a fire card. So it has to do with all the fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, which Wands is typically fire. The numerology is 5 and 14. So we got 4 and 13, and then 5 and 14. And it's interesting that I was just talking about 4 and 5. So 4 is the structure. 5 is the spirit. It's the family. It's the community. It's the life that gets breathed into the structure. I typically, when it gets to after 13, when it comes to numerology, I will tend to add them up till I get a singular number. 5, choose your battle. Yeah, choose your battles. Yes. That's yes. And so 4 plus 1 is 5 again. So we're kind of doubling down on that energy. Um yeah, it's like really interesting. It's like the structure is something about the structure of something seems to be frustrating and uh that you're like to the point where you're pulling away from it. And then possibly the reason that you're pulling away is because in whatever there is, the family, the community, even with like the spirit of the home or the spirit of that structure, there's a conflict or there is a competition or tension, a rivalry or a disagreement of some sort. Hmm. I really like how they said choose your battle in the comments. That really is what it feels like. I think that the Lionsgate portal can bring up a lot of feelings too. It kind of pulls the rug off of everything that we've been sweeping under it. And I think there's maybe even a call to action here because it's wands, it's fire. There's movement in that. And it's not as grounded as earth, right? It's still movement. Earth is also movement, but movement that's more grounded and stable. Fire is quick and volatile and catching, and it changes the entire atmosphere. There's a lot of fires going on around me right now, and the smoke has been awful, and it changes the way I perceive the sun because it creates this filter on everything. And the fire itself, it creates this urgency, especially if you're closer to it. It's like there are people that end up like having to move, or there are structures that are being threatened by the fire. And so to me, this is talking about a movement of some sort. It's like a call to action that's saying, like, during this time, sorry, I have a lot coming through. It's like yeah, definitely. I like that. Lady Dynamite says, I'll be taking time to prioritize what's important before the solar eclipse. Yeah, absolutely. Because the solar eclipse is going to be huge, right? It's like fire times 3 because it's the ending of the Lionsgate portal. We're in Leo season still, and we will be during the solar eclipse. And it's a solar eclipse in Leo. So, yeah, it feels like movement. that movement is asking, it's like asking you to take responsibility for the way that you feel and your part. Because that's what's in shadow, right? And we're not talking about like anybody else. If we're only talking about like ourselves in the reading, can you take responsibility for your part in the conflict, in the tension? Can you own up to the ways that you're disagreeing, or or can you let go of the competition? Because your participation is what's creating this frustration, introversion, insecurity, and moodiness. What do you believe will happen if you set down your sword? What do you believe will happen if you set down your sword and you stop fighting it and let the stuff go and open up to insights? Yeah. The Hanged Man is always an interesting one to get. I do always enjoy thinking about that card. Yeah, if you have to grab what you can, what means the most to you, what's sacred versus what's superficial. Yeah. Who else has been purging? Because that's pretty on point for me, Brigadier. Excuse me. That, right. If everything is burning down, if the structure is burning, what do you want to save? For me, the first thing I think of is the relationships, right? I want to save the people in my home. I want to save the animals in my home. And also what comes to mind is my art, like something I can't, most things, although I love the specific relationship I have with them, most of the things that I surround myself with, I could replace. But my art and the relationships that I have developed with those that I care about are irreplaceable. So, yeah, what does it mean? And even when I said set down the sword, I was kind of thinking about firefighters, and it's like, how would it feel to switch from firefighting to rescue? Yeah, what happens if you put down your sword? Or I guess what happens if you put down your wand, since it's the 5 of Wands, but you guys get what I mean. All right, so how are we feeling about that? It's definitely fire season. And I'm really feeling a lot of grief and relief lately. It's like there's a lot of grief in what's happening, but there's also this huge relief in like understanding the reality, or getting closer to the reality of the truth of what it is, whatever it is that you're looking at. I think that's about it. That's really coming up for me. Hey, do you guys want a synchronicity before we leave? Because I kind of feel like, yeah, fuck yes energy along with fuck no energy. Heather, oh my gosh. It is, right? I so resonate with that as somebody who feels constantly torn between like what seems to be opposites a lot of the time, like opposite energy. Yeah. I think, yeah, let's go. This is, as we make our way towards the solar eclipse portal, what is a synchronicity that would support us in prioritizing? Like, what is a good symbol? What's a symbol? In fact, I'm just going to pull it. I'm not even going to ask a question. And you guys can decide what it means for you. All right. And then we'll close this out and we'll go ahead and get on with our day. But this feels special. So we got number 9, Uranus. This is my There Are No Coincidences deck. It's called There Are No Coincidences. So number 9, Uranus, which I think is so potent and so perfect. So if you needed a synchronicity, I would love to hear how that comes up for you guys too. If you guys end up like being like, I got a Uranus synchronicity, or I saw 9, exact snails on my plant this morning, or, whatever it is. Let's get weird. That for me is the message of Uranus, is let's get weird. All right. So if you'd like to, you can put your hand on your heart. I'm going to go ahead and close out this working. This working is now closing, but the magic has just begun. I humbly thank the elements and both the moon and sun. To all who chose to bless this flow, I now sincerely thank you. May your practice be expansive and your course be clear and true. All right, everyone, go make some art and stay hydrated.